not look like a floating island to me. No, in point of fact, this is not a floating island. This is some shameless self-promotion, because shameless self-promotion is what it's all about. This is a Rat Fink painting. Rat Fink is a character that was made very famous during the Hot Rod era by Ed Big Daddy Roth. And Rat Fink is something I recently became a licensed Rat Fink artist. You have to be licensed in order to paint them. It was a fun process, and I was recently told by another Rat Fink artist, hey, probably not a good idea to brag about that. So that's the end of that. Now, I'm sure you're taking a look at this and you're like, that also doesn't look like a floating island painting, because it's not. This is where I've got to start painting the floating island painting. Now, we're going to let it roll for just a little bit. Guys, this is where we do the shameless self-promotion of the novels as well. While we're waiting for some people to tune in, my name is Sean Nathan Ricks. I am the author of The Man Who Would Be Time and of Magi. You can end up finding my paintings on buymynovels.com, and that number on the top is my social security number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Or if we were on Sesame Street, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, I'm glad we had this talk. Let's move on to the Magi Kingdom of Thor card game. And that is all the self-promotion. Let's start painting. Boy, aren't we glad we got that out of the way. Okay, wait, is there one more shameless self-promotion to be done? Yes, there is. This is what the 8x10 limited edition prints of my work look like. Okay, that's it. Let's start painting. Now, as some of you guys have tuned in before, both the kids immediately started getting super excited when they heard you. Well, that is fantastic. I love that. All right, so for anybody who's just joined and doesn't know, Andrew Sparks is a good buddy of mine that I've known for a very long time. And Emily has 2 kids that absolutely love my work, and she's just like them. She gets super excited when she gets to hear my voice and loves my work. And she has a super cool husband who allows her to buy my paintings. So let's give a round of applause to all of them and get started. Now, I know while I'm painting, the best thing I can do is right there. There's still going to be some glare on it. But let's start putting some color on canvas, shall we? Now, unfortunately, before I started, I did not get any kind of colors ready, so we're going to do that right now. We're just going to put a big glob of titanium white on my palette, pull out a giant brush, and we're going to start putting stuff on there. That's right, we're going to pull out this brush right here. We're going to get some titanium white on it and a little bit of blue, and we're just going to start creating some clouds for our background here. And it really does go on that fast. Now, that's enough of the excitement. If we haven't drawn some kind of a little crowd by now, then we probably never will. Let's just keep on putting some clouds on there and get them kind of taking shape. Most of what you guys will see in the very first part of the video is just what we call blocking in. So, we are just blocking in a giant cloud bank, and eventually we will be putting a floating island on this cloud bank. We just want to get a couple of colors in there really nicely. Get a little of darker ones right here on the back end. And pull some of that up into there. And then maybe another cloud bank right here. Probably that one's going to be covered by the floating islands. All right, we've got it. It's looking good. Now, what do? We pull out a really giant, great big brush. And of course, I do love it when everybody starts making comments inside the chat. Please do, because not only does it help the algorithm, but I love being able to read them out while I am painting. Emily and Andrew already beat everybody to it. Are you guys going to let Emily and Andrew beat you to it? Oh, and then later today, we will do one of Emily's favorite things. We will start picking on Simone. So if Simone and Ruby are going to tune in, we can pick on Simone. How about that, huh? Okay. Now, again, my name is Sean Nathan Ricks. I am the author of The Man Who Would Be Time, as well as Magi, and I am the individual who created the Magi Kingdom of Thor card game. All right, now our painting is coming together right nicely. Like I said, we're going to do a floating island, but first of all, we want to get some clouds on it. We're using a great big makeup brush just to get some things blocked in, give us some nice cloud bank, and then we will move on to adding some detail very quickly. This brush is now going to go in the drink. One of the greatest tips I can give to anyone who is getting ready to become an artist: do not put what you're drinking right next to your mixing water. It's what we would call bad. Okay, let's grab some more titanium white, and we're just going to pick out some really wet paint right on the forefront. And the canvas is very dry right now because it is hot as balls. Yes, that is the way I would describe it. And I have my AC going on in the background, and that naturally is drying up the air a little bit. Okay, did I mention this is not meant for kids? So, all right. Starting to get some nice picking out the forefront there. Let's see. Zuhayruduran said hi, thank you. I am really going to be bad at these names. Said that is cool, thank you very much. I appreciate you chiming in. Is this the first time you guys have come to the channel? If so, like and subscribe so you can see more. And of course, go to buymynovels.com where you can purchase my novels and novels by a lot of my friends. And again, the number that was on the top is my social security number, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm glad we had this talk. Okay, let's put a little bit of our blue in there. This is very close to the blue of the background. What that's going to do is give us a nice feel of transparency. We're going to put a little bit more of our titanium white in this area right here. And then we're going to pull out one of my favorite makeup brushes, this one right here. You can do some clockwise and counterclockwise rotations, and that's going to allow us to fill in some of the detail and the depth to our clouds. Now, a lot of you guys know that I like to add color in, and we are going to add some color in just as soon as I put it on my palette, because I was a bad boy today and I did not prep for that the way I normally do. But we all know I like using this color right here, which is a light coral. I like using my yellow ochre, and of course I love bringing in some red. And today we're going to pull in just a regular old red. It's not going to be bright, dark, anything. It's just regular red. Let's put these colors inside my palette real quick. So nobody touch that dial. Don't touch that bat station. Don't touch that bat dial. Stay here with Batman of the painting world. I'm not really Batman of the painting world. In fact, somebody compared my voice to Archer on the cartoon. Hey, that guy sounds like Archer. Lana! Danger zone. So if that's it, and guess what? I am out of that. So we toss that one off to the side. Let's get some yellow ochre. Guess we're not going to be adding that peach color today. So we'll see what we can do with the red and with the yellow. All right, let's grab this brush right here. Get it a little bit wet in the drink. We're going to add some yellow to it, we're going to add some red to it, and we're going to add some white to it, and we're going to start just putting some big blobs on the canvas. Now, somebody out there just started freaking out. No, dear God, what has he done? Trust me, it's all part of the process. It's going to look great. Everything that you saw so far is just background, and now we need another giant brush to just start mixing some things and getting our clouds to look great. Now, a lot of this is acrylic paint. In fact, when I say a lot of it, I mean all of it is acrylic paint. And that means that it is, in most cases, semi-transparent, which is good. It's going to allow us to get some of that stuff that we've got in the background pulling forward. We're going to leave some gaps there. Let's see, what have we got here? Sparks, you are the Joker of the painting world. Sure, that works. Novels, yes. Laradney. I have no idea how to say that. Yes, I have written 2 novels, and I have a 3rd novel coming out this year. In fact, earlier today, my editor and I were on the phone creating the sequel for Magi, which is called Mystic. And Mystic, I'm currently at 34 chapters. There's only going to be 45 chapters according to our outline. Of course, outlines lie, which means I have no idea where it's going to end up. And it should be done and out by November 1st. The Eldritch Man, another novel inside the Magi universe, may also come out this year. Okay, that's enough for that. Let's go to pulling in some really dark colors, shall we? Actually, first, let's try adding something that I haven't added previously. All of you fans out there who have seen me paint before, let's put something together you haven't seen yet. Let's add a little bit of purple in some key spots. And then let's jump in and soften that up. Just get it to mix and blend. This is a very wet brush right now. It's a giant makeup brush. And we're going to push some paint around, and it's working great. We like the way it is. Starting to form some clouds for us. I really kind of let the brushes do it for me, and then I come in and I pick out the details afterward. Now, I did drop a brush down behind everything, and it's a rather important brush, so I got to lean way over to grab it. Of course, it got some kind of junk from the floor on it. Somebody needs to clean their art studio. Okay, Andrew, you missed what? Let's pick out a little forefront of the clouds again. Okay, what'd you miss, Andrew? Tell me, talk to me, Goose. There we go. Now, a lot of people have watched me recently paint some rat Fink work. So rat Fink is big in the hot rod world. And I got a question. It's like, oh, you're going to leave all of your floating islands alone? You're going to leave your Magi Kingdom of Thor card game? You're not going to paint for it anymore? Well, that's patentedly ridiculous. I, like many of the other rat Fink artists, I have a lot of things that I paint. In fact, licensed and registered rat Fink artists are quite often people who work and create animation for Cartoon Network. Off the top of my head, I can't think of one, but I'm sure somebody out there has got that kind of trivia. If you want to drop that in the chat, please do. All right, here we go. Yes, look, we're starting to get a forefront and some holes in the clouds. We're getting definition. We like it this way. And remember, this is just the background. The clouds are just what's going to be behind the floating island. So let's keep going. Let's pull this brush out again. We're going to dip back into some red, and we'll just put a couple of slashes of red there. Maybe add a little bit of yellow to it there and there. And then immediately go to our giant brush, push the color around a little bit, get it so it mixes right on the canvas with the paint that is, as of right now, starting to dry up very quickly. So we have to work quick, fast. Speed is of the essence. If we don't work quickly, it's going to dry up too fast. And then what do? Well, we don't panic because it's paint. I can just put more stuff on top of it, which is exactly what I'll do. Just put more stuff on top of it. Okay, soften it up. Right now, all we have is pastel. Well, pastel is nice, but it gets a little bit boring. And we need to have some drama jump onto this. How much drama, you say? As much drama as two teenage girls talking about a teenage boy. All right, you don't like that analogy? I'm sorry. Okay, let's jump on and add that drama. What we're going to do is we're going to get some permanent black. I know lots of people right now are like, no, you never put black on a painting. Don't use permanent black. Well, it's the way I like to do it, and that's the way it's going to be done. And then we also want some raw umber. The raw umber is going to go next to the permanent black. We're going to toss that on to the painting in just 1 second here. All of you guys that have just come on, you stayed for 2 seconds and then you clicked away. Please come back. Come back for 1 more second. I mean, I've got some loyal fans. Got some great ones out there that love watching me. Right now we have 6 people. We had jumped up to somewhere around 18 people, and now we're down. Well, somebody get on the phone and start calling your friends, call your enemy, call your mom, call your dad. If they are, unfortunately, passed away, hold a seance. Bring them back. Have them watch. Now, I know what you're saying. That is dark. Oh, my gosh, that's too dark. Why would you do that to the canvas? I do it to the canvas because it's about to not be as dark, and I do still want that tension. And then I also still want some color in it. And we'll get a little more here, and then let's also put a big blob of that purple there. Now, everyone's like, that doesn't look like anything. It looks terrible. You just covered up a bunch of clouds. Well, the people who are my fans that watch this all the time, they know all you've got to do is just simply be patient, and you can watch the clouds appear before your eyes, almost like I'm a magician. And there we go. And it is just starting to mix and come together, and we love it. It's looking great. Okay, and let's pull some of that color up here into our white. Soften it up a little bit more, pull some down into different spots. And then, of course, one of the great secrets is taking a great big brush like this. Actually, it's got to be a little bit wet. That was a little too dry. Get it just a little bit wet. And now, it's going to soften up all those brush strokes and melt the clouds right into each other. All right, I'm loving the way it's looking. Yes, starting to make exactly what I wanted it to do. All the way down. Now we're a little bit dry down here in the bottom, so let's pull out another brush and just make some. This one's a little bit wet. It's going to make some of the paint disappear for us and pull up our background. These makeup brushes are a great way to paint your clouds. They're a great way to get a lot of stuff covered on your canvas in a short amount of time. Okay, look at that. We've got 14 people. I3YLAN. Is it just the floating islands, or is there going to be a dragon and stuff? I'm pretty sure that's Dylan from Cash Coffee, Jamie's son. In this case, this one's just going to be floating islands until I decide at the end, where I invariably do, to put something else on it. I was thinking of putting a painting of a portrait of this guy I know named Jamie, but I don't want to scare people. All right, let's keep on going with the painting. And if Jamie just heard that, ha ha, ha ha. Of course, Jamie's kind of scary. He's been taking a lot of kickboxing and Thai boxing classes, and he's pretty much an animal. And he's a great car driver, too. But I'm still going to make fun of him. All right, let's moving on. Let's go ahead and get some more tension on the background. We're going to get our burnt umber, and we're going to mix it with a little bit of red. And we're going to richen up the back of our clouds here. And put some out here as well. Now, if you're looking at it and you're like, that just seems like blobs. Yep, right up until you start mixing it right on the canvas. It is blobs. I'm glad you said that. That's exactly what it is. And I like to darken up certain corners so that you have a very clear understanding of the light is coming down this way. Let's get our cloud looking good. All right, now, if your name is Dylan, guess what? You get the first right of refusal on this painting. If this is not the one you want, then I will paint another one. Now, dear God gasps, I know that if my friend Renee is on right now and my friend Emily are still on, they're like, wait a minute, we might have wanted that. In this case, gals, you don't get it. It does not get to go to you. I am sorry. This one was planned out to first, if Dylan wanted it, it gets to go to him. That's the way the painting was thought up. That's the way the painting's going to be created. And if he decides he doesn't want it, he can say something about it. See, what kind of comments do we have? Oh, we have, so, see, Dylan, I knew it was you. All right. So Dylan's a pretty cool cat. For some reason, he's got a girlfriend, even though he was so ugly as a child, they had to tie a pork chop around his neck just to have the dog play with him. His dad had it worse off than that. Now, I once had a dog that kind of looked like Jamie, and I shaved its butt and then taught it to walk backwards. It was a much better dog after that. All right, let's keep going. I really hope Jamie gets to hear this. Let's get a little bit of white in here, and we'll get a little bit of yellow in there as well. Okay. Now, the question I have is sometimes when I get to a point where I'm done with a painting, people are like, well, you just covered up half the stuff that you put in the painting. Yeah, the clouds are literally a background, and I never know exactly how it's going to turn out until I'm done with it. So I have no idea how much of the background is going to be covered up, just an idea that some of it will. I'm glad that it's picking up some of that paint there. I want it to spread it around a little bit. Okay, here we go. We're having a lot of fun so far. For the next couple of weeks, I think I'll avoid a place called Cash Coffee, where I like to go for my coffee in the morning, because Jamie runs it, and I might be in trouble. That's all right. Mindy will defend me. She'll think it's hilarious. All right. And so far, we have got some good clouds. We've got a couple of gaps in it, but I'm pretty happy with that. What we need to do now is we need to put some detail on it. No fight, because Dylan's getting it. All right, well, that was pretty easy. All right, Dylan it is, man. All right, you know, we do need to darken this up a little bit more. It's not nearly as dramatic as I like it. We've got to get that in there and spread out a little bit. And then we need a slightly different brush to really soften it up. We're going to go with this flat brush instead of one of the makeup brushes right now. That's better. Okay. And then, of course, the big soften with the giant brush, because that'll take away some of the brush strokes. All right, but we don't have enough color in it yet. There's not nearly enough color or drama going on in the entire painting. To do that, we need to start pulling out some different smaller brushes and just adding some color in here in spots. And then switching back over to our makeup brushes and making them blend in. And when it overpowers it just a little bit too much, what do? We just dip into some white. And it really is that easy. All right, anybody watching, you guys can do this at home. Imagine this was like Bob Ross. You don't know who Bob Ross is? Go find out. It's the Saturday morning painting guy that was on PBS. What's PBS? It's one of those television stations that your parents probably watched when they were young. And I'm not even sure it's around anymore. Does anybody know? I know Bob Ross is online now. I saw some shorts of paintings just earlier. Yeah, see how nice that is? That works. Okay, let's get a little bit of dark on the back side. Now, because it's drying up quick, some of this will pick up and drop off, so you have to decide as you're creating the painting exactly how it's going to work. And by exactly how it's going to work, I mean just improvise your ass off. Okay, if you get too caught up in the idea that it has to look a certain way, it's never going to turn out that way. It just will not do it. And for those people that are like, well, I could just use AI art to do this, let me tell you about the evils of AI art. All right. You ever go home when you were in elementary school and you walked up to your mom and you handed her something that you created when you were in school and she put it on the fridge? Well, imagine that if instead you were homeschooled and you just walked downstairs and you're like, hey, Mom, look, I just told AI to do this, and in 2 minutes it made this for me. Which one of those do you think your mom really wants to put on the fridge? The AI art? Probably not. Something that you created when you were a kid? Yep. That's really what AI is destroying. I mean, let's face it, what we really want AI to do is do our dishes for us, do our math homework. You know, we want it to do the analytical stuff. I don't want AI to do my paintings so that I have to do more dishes. or heaven forbid, laundry. Laundry has got to be as bad as what makes postal workers go postal, because it never ends. Just like the mail, it never ends. It just keeps on coming and coming and coming. Why do we even have the postal service anymore? I mean, we've got email, we've got everything that can be online. Is it just so dogs have someone to chase? I mean, if I were a guy that owned a coffee shop and I had a bunch of Malinois, really cool dogs, probably want something for them to chase, other than Dylan. All right, I'm happy with that. Now what do? We soften the whole thing up with a giant brush. Okay, there we go. All right, let's see. What have we got going on here? The robots should be working so humans can paint, not the other way around. I agree. And now I'm dying to hear, though, how easy is it to run away from your Malinois, huh, Dylan? Do they chase you? Is this something where they think that your legs taste good? Are you a tasty dog treat, Dylan? Right now, he's regretting having come onto the channel. Okay, let's get some more color going on here. Almost be like a fire happened. And the paint is drying up so quickly that we have to move even faster than I normally would. Okay, here we go. Looks good. All right. Loving this. All right, now, we've picked on Dylan enough. What we really ought to do is get back to Emily's favorite pastime of picking on Simone. Is Simone tuned in? Is Ruby tuned in? If not, Emily, you really need to get on the horn and tell them, hey, Sean's painting again. Get on. Simone is one of my favorite people. She is also an artist, and I really ought to do a live video with her where we go to live together. I've mentioned it, we've mentioned it, but I've got so much stuff going on, I never get around to it. So I'm going to have to rely on probably Ruby to start setting it up. Ruby is a heck of a lot smarter than either Simone or I. Okay. Yes, we're good. So we got a little bit of extra cloud coming here. So the light's coming over, it's peeking across these clouds, and it's really doing us a great layering service here. You can't run away from Malinois, it's impossible. Skynet? Skynet, well, I don't think we have to worry about Skynet. I met this dude named John, what was his name? Connor, I believe. And he said something about already beating up some mechanical dude that looked like Arnold. So if it looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger, however you say his name, or the Governator, if you want to go by his other name, I think we're probably okay. He already beat up the Terminator. We have got some dry paint that snuck in there. We're just going to get that off the canvas. Okay, we just have to pick the darn thing up and then go over top of it. Yes. Now, you see, layer on layer on layer is really how the clouds come together, guys. Without these layers, the clouds just don't work. And a lot of these are glazes, which means they are mostly transparent and then they just shine through with the background. All right. Let's push in. Shine through might not be the correct term. What do I know? When it came to college, I did the classes and I thought every one of my university professors was a moron. So, and to be fair, they were in academia, so they probably were. No offense to anybody out there who might be an elementary teacher, because I think elementary teachers were awesome. And I do feel like I got robbed, though. When I was growing up, I didn't have any attractive middle school teachers or high school teachers. Mostly they were dudes. There was this one dude who was also a coach. He'd end up teaching the history class by coming in and just turning on a video and said, we're going to learn about this part of blah, blah, blah. The highlight of that class was watching the fat dude's sweat rings grow. So yeah, you can imagine. Not a very entertaining class. Certainly not an attractive girl. All right, let's keep on going. if everybody's not cracking up by now in this video, then you don't know what fun is. If you wanted it to be a serious video, yeah, don't subscribe to my channel. You want it to be something that is going to make you laugh until your pants probably fall off. Or in Emily's case, I'm pretty sure I've probably made her pee herself once or twice. Not that she'd admit that in front of her kids. Let's add some more right here for another bank of clouds. And let's see, what have we got? I messaged the short one. The short one. Okay. Emily, tell them which one the short one is. I messaged the short one. I'm going to start referring to her that way from now on. The short one. Classic. Classic, Emily. Okay. Cloud upon cloud upon cloud upon cloud until it keeps on mixing with the background. And we get to a point where we are happy enough to start painting over top of it. And that point is not yet. I still want more detail out of this thing for the background. What you guys can't see is right here, way, 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 way back behind this cloud is a painting of Dylan nude. And I'm really glad we covered that up. Could have just as easily have been Simone nude. And if she were on right now, she'd laugh about that. Cinnamon, aka Smuts. Now, okay, all right, I got a little bone to pick with you then. I have never had an opportunity to call her Cinnamon. All right, is that just like the little friend group only of calling Simone Cinnamon? Can we start referring to her as Cinnamon Toast Crunch? I think that's even funnier. We got to go really light here because that is some wet paint, and if I go heavy, it'll just pick the stuff up off the background. So tell me if Cinnamon Toast Crunch has decided to come on. Everybody gets picked on this channel except for Andrew. Let me tell you guys why Andrew doesn't get picked on. There's a couple of reasons. I'm going to embarrass him too. He's probably not happy with me saying this, but I had a really wonderful older brother. My older brother, Todd. Sadly, Todd died when he was 22. And he had a really horrible case of, I believe it was sickle cell anemia, something like that. And Andrew spent much of his time when my brother's wife was working. Andrew would go over and sit by my older brother's bedside and do his best to take care of him. My older brother passed rather quickly. It took only about 3 months. And Andrew was there the entire time. That's why we don't pick on Andrew. Anybody picks on Andrew, you're banned from the station. All right, let's see what's going on here. Your husband couldn't... Oh, Shad's a great guy. Remember Simone and started calling her Cinnamon, so now she'll forever be Cinnamon. I think that's a great idea. I like the idea of her being called Cinnamon. All right, let's keep moving on. I like that we picked up some darker color right here. We're going to mix that through and make that the back end of some clouds here. We're going to go into this brush right here. We've got to get it a little bit more wet. Or, for those people that really hate the word, we've got to get it moist. It's a terrible word, right? It like sounds so gross. Moist. Get it to just spread around the dark color of the cloud. All right. So bringing the mood back up to something more fun, let's talk a little bit about puppies. Anybody who's got a dog, I want you guys to say inside the comments what kind of a dog you have. Since I kind of drove the conversation right off a cliff there. That looks good. All right. Tell me what kind of a dog you've got. Tell me who it is. Okay, what breed? The name of the dog. My dog is a little German Shepherd Husky. She has a great talent of being able to shed all over Cash Coffee. She's kind of been banned by Jamie. He really was upset with me. That's okay. Jamie's kind of like John Wick. You wouldn't want to test him when it comes to his dogs. Okay, we've got a little bit of a darker color in there. I'm just going to kind of let it ride. I like what it's doing. And now we will clean it off. And we will grab and soften it up some more. Detail after detail after detail after detail. That's what makes me the Cloud Master. All right. Let's get a little bit more red going on, shall we? I like the idea of some of this red just kind of mixing through here in a rose color. Speaking of rose, I'll tell you what, there were about 2 videos live I did where I kept calling Ruby Rose. I mean, like over and over and over again. And if she wasn't such a pleasant person, I'd probably be dead right now, because I'm pretty sure in another life she was a hired assassin. Okay, maybe even international. You never know. All right, here we go. We're getting a little bit of yellow, a little bit of red, and we're going to add some of that right through here. Put some there. And then come through with this brush again. Do some clockwise and some counterclockwise just to get it in there. Okay, and then soften it all up with a giant brush. And I am okay with the fact that it did that, because that just kind of pulls some of the cloud from the back. It just makes it so that this is rather transparent through there. Guess what? We're going to work with that, and I'll show you exactly how. One might think, no, not a hole in your clouds. Holy cloud, Batman. Yes, holy cloud. Okay. We're going to put some dark right across there. Drag it out here and over to there. And then we go into one of our makeup brushes. Which one do I want? Probably this one right here. And we'll pull it through and start blending that really fast, because it is setting up quickly. All right, now that it's blended out, get that one clean again, use the same brush, and then the white will now mix with it, because we don't have the black on the brush anymore. Sometimes you've got to be able to shift gears so quickly in this business. Speaking of shifting gears, my friend Jamie was in a demolition derby the other day, and wonder of wonders, it did nothing to improve his face. But he did a really good job in the demolition derby. All right. This is going to be one of those things where Dylan goes and starts telling his dad all of the little insults that have been sent his way. Dylan, if you're not laughing like crazy right now, I don't know what's going to encourage you to come back to this channel. All right. Good, good, good. All right, let's get some yellow mixed in here, right through here. A little bit more, right through there. Yes, I'm happy with the way that looks. Giant brush to soften it up, and then what do we need? Well, we've got this other side of the window right here. Let's take a peek at the comments. Okay, you're laughing, good. Okay, Megara, Pitt, Aussie, Rhodesian, Ridgeback, something crossed. That's my favorite one. Belgian Malinois, Zuko. All right, Dylan, why have I never met your Malinois? Huh? I do hope I'm saying that right. It's a silly French word or a Belgian word. Nobody really knows. Okay. Yeah. Oh, it's a little more white in there and some heavy red right there. Yeah. Okay, and then yeah. All right. We're happy with it. It's got drama. It's got fun. Way back in the back, it's got a nude of Dylan, which we're really happy we covered up. Right next to him is the short one, also nude. Don't know what they're doing back there. Don't want to know. Probably not a good idea to find out. In fact, let's just skip that entire thing and say that we didn't know anything about it. How about that? I'm glad we had this talk. Okay. Add a little red back there just for some color. Soften that up. Take a peek at the comments. What do we got? He doesn't get along with Groot. Oh, well, that's probably one of the things. I mean, Groot is kind of moody, right? Well, I'll tell you what, probably get along just great with my little German Shepherd Husky. She loves bigger dogs. There was a big German Shepherd that was brought in here, and she chased the thing around thinking it was the most handsome dog on the face of the planet. And that giant German Shepherd, a big German Shepherd, was basically running from my little dog that meets up to my knees. He's like, too much too soon. She's too forward. Dear God, somebody get rid of her. Now, the funniest thing ever, he started whimpering, and then he peed on the floor. Now, one might think, he peed on the floor. Did you get mad? No, I've got a big industrial building. Plus, it's a dog. I don't care if dogs pee on the floor. Although, Dylan, if you ever come over here and you pee on the floor, that's probably going to be a bad thing, okay? Speaking of people coming into Utah, I believe, Emily, that you said you and Shad were going to come this way and stop and visit. And I have yet to hear from my friends, Emily and Shad. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm starting to think that you don't love me anymore. Okay. Now, I am doing some really, really, really soft rotations with this brush. That softens up and blends without pulling the background up. It has to be ultra soft when you do that, or it will pull up the background and then it doesn't look right. We want to darken this corner up a lot. And again, the same thing. We're really, really, really soft with it. We can't peek at the comments yet to see what kind of ridiculous things Emily has said. I'm sure it's all excuses, but I will peek in just a moment and take a look at it. All right. And we need to darken up this. Okay. Now, guys, that's just the beginning. You guys know that I'm now going to come into the rest of this and start picking out the details on the forefront of the clouds. The trip down here was hell. It took over 36 hours, I bet. Well, and Dylan said all the time, I'm pretty sure he says he's peeing on floors all the time, which, Dylan, that's gross. Come on, dude. Show a little class. There's attractive women in the chat. Dylan probably doesn't have just one girlfriend. He's probably got like 6. I'm sure they just keep him on rotation. He's that kind of a guy. I have absolutely no idea, but it's funny. All right, now, time to go with smaller brushes and smaller details along the forefront of our clouds. The first thing we're going to do is dip right into our titanium white with a nice pointed brush, and we add some details to the forefront of the clouds. It's going to give us a lot more form and add more depth to the painting. And then we go with a really small makeup brush and we pull just the back side. We don't touch the front side of where we put detail, because that would ruin the entire point of doing what we're doing. Now let's go ahead and add some right here, because clouds don't have just one face, they've got multiple faces. Okay. And then again, you're pulling the back side. You're just getting that so that it pulls into your clouds there. Sometimes you get these really nice anomalies and just kind of go with them. So if you get an anomaly like that and it starts to appear inside the painting, Just pull it into the painting. Oh, that looks nice. Let's see, what do we got here? Hopefully we can stop by on the way back through. I really hope that you do, because I would love to see you guys again in person, since I'm probably not making it down to RadCon anytime soon, because I got word that the ex-girlfriend, the one that flew all the way out to Salt Lake City, or from Salt Lake City to Pasco, Washington, just to screw with my business, although I'm sure that's not her narrative, but that is what happened. I mean, she had never gone to any of these conventions before, and then suddenly she starts showing up right when I am the gaming guest of honor. Maybe I'm making too much out of it, but not a single one of the artists that I had involved in the card game even had one meal with me. Of course, she did make really good friends with all of their wives, and I started getting blacklisted. It was kind of crazy. You know, that's the kind of crazy that you just don't want. I have no idea what the deal is, but I'd really rather not run into her. I'd rather just leave it as a bad chapter in life and move on. Okay, besides which, my current girlfriend that I've had for well over a year, she's a retired pyrotechnics engineer, so of course she knows how to blow shit up. And she is amazing. Her name's Krista. I love her dearly. Some might say I love her more than my socks, and I have really damn nice socks. Okay. Dylan, you can feel free to use that pickup line on someone from now on. I'm sure it'll go far for you. Probably right out a window. Just tell one of your girlfriends, I love you more than my socks. Watch what happens. Report back to us. We'd really like to know. We're kind of like the Inquirer. Inquiring minds want to know. What do we got in the comments here? The only thing stopping you is time and money. Stopping me from what? Conquering the world? That's a good idea. Let's conquer the world. Hey, who wants to rob a bank in Bolivia with me? By the way, if we do that, I get to be Butch Cassidy. Somebody else can be the Sundance Kid. Still, question still there. Who wants to rob a bank with me? In Bolivia. We should really put that out there before the NSA starts coming after us. Because, you know, they don't really exist. No such agency. You know, the NSA does stand for that. No such agency. The FBI stands for effing ball-busting imbeciles. I'm going to get on a list for this. The CIA, certified inferior assistants. The Navy is funny. Never again volunteer yourself. I love the Navy. The intelligence bureaus, I don't care about them. The Navy, I like the Navy. Nice guys. Marines, I like the Marines. Military assholes riding in Navy equipment. Got a Marine that rents part of my shop. Funny guy. I like him quite a bit. He's about as broad in the shoulders as he is tall. He's huge. He's huge. Okay. Army, anal retentive military yahoos, like those guys too. They already know what these acronyms are. They're Army. The Army loves its acronyms. Air Force, that's a really long acronym. We're not going to play around with that one. And speaking of Air Force, that's where the crazy ex-girlfriend came from. She was an Air Force first sergeant, diamond, whatever that means. I'm very happy that she served, you know, that's great. I'm not very happy that she tried to destroy everything that I took so long to build. To build. Boy, I can't speak today. All I do is speak all day for a living. All right, looks good so far. I'm happy with the way it is. Somebody is going to reach out and tell the ex-girlfriend, he said nasty things about you. Well, you flew all the way out to try and destroy my business. I don't care. Besides which, it is just a bad chapter of life. But it is the reason why I'm probably not going back to RadCon. Because, like I said, I got word she's going to go back there. And if I show up, she wants to be there. Well, that's not exactly what I would prefer. I prefer if she just forgot about me. That's why I even bring her up, is because she doesn't keep on forgetting about me. I must kiss like a magical leprechaun or something, and she thinks there's a pot of gold behind everything, but she can't seem to leave me alone. Kissing like a magical leprechaun. That's the name of my next band. Okay, now we're just picking out a little bit more detail on the background of the clouds. Again, we don't know how much of this is actually going to get covered up as we go along, but something will. And something is going to shine through, and something is going to look great, and something is going to turn into a magical leprechaun named Dylan. Dylan, this is your painting, so you, after we get to the point where I put the floating island in, you kind of get to decide what you want to see in it. So when I get to that point and I start asking for suggestions, I hope you're still tuned in. I don't even know how long we've been on so far because I've really been working on these clouds, getting kind of a nice feel to them, the way that I really want them to be. We're almost done and ready to put in the floating island though, so. All right, what do we got going on here? So do you paint the island in front of the clouds? Yes, I do. And so I hope so, ha ha ha, yes. Well, it's the island will go in front of it and the island will look really nice. But you got to get all of this detail in the background or the entire painting just doesn't seem to work. Or at least that's what the demon at the crossroads told me when I sold my soul in order to learn how to paint. Funny, his name was Dylan as well. Sure, it's no relation and just a coincidence. All right. It was the same demon that taught a guy named Jamie how to make coffee. All right, there we go. It's going to be one of those things where you have to show your dad the recording. Like I said, I'm going to make sure I avoid cash coffee for a few weeks. Let it die down. To add some red and some yellow in some spots up here as well. Maybe right along here. And we go back to this brush right here in order to get that detail in. And it really just adds that depth. See, before it, it's kind of a bland cloud. It doesn't really have a lot going on. After it, the cloud just starts to magically become something more. Okay. Joke's on that demon. I'm a redhead. I didn't have a soul to sell. Let's get this going here. All right. I'm very happy with the way things are working. Hey, I want to see some comments. Who's happy with the way the clouds look? Who's got suggestions that I'm going to ignore? And yeah, let's go from there. Okay, somebody tell me what you guys think. Let's put a little bit of indication of some clouds up there. Actually, that's a good idea. Kind of the background clouds that nobody really sees, which are going to be back in here. Okay. Had one guy, the last time I did a live painting, it was some kid, I'm sure, and he kept on insulting me. And I love that because the more comments that happen, the better the algorithm reads as interaction. And we were so nice to him that he lost his temper and finally left, which was hilarious. Yeah, now we've got clouds in the foreground. Avatar: The Last Airbender, no. Dylan, no. We're not painting Avatar: The Last Airbender in there. All right, I hate to veto it, but no, not going to happen. Let's put a little bit of there. And you might ask why. Because I don't want to. You can suggest something else. Not painting Avatar. Now, I like Aang. Aang's great. No problem with Aang. You know, I like Appa. Appa's fine. But this is my sandbox. I want to paint something original. So, next suggestion. Yeah. So we have a guest who walked into the studio. It's an individual that I told you about. He is as wide in the shoulders as he is tall. His name is Patrick. Patrick is a Marine, and Patrick's got a really cute dog that's about 500-600 years old. little pit bull, and his name is Rocky. He's a cute dog. He bounds around like he's a puppy, and then he sleeps 16,000 hours a day. Tell me I'm wrong, Patrick. You're wrong. 15,000. So you've missed a lot of this. Dylan Butters is listening as well, and we've been making jokes about Jamie.
Oh, I hear you.
You should go and tune in so that you can get the view count up, huh?
Actually, I gotta call Mike. I blamed you for something earlier that I just realized what it was.
Oh, that's okay. I'm sure that he'll forgive you.
Well, it sat in there for 2 days. I scraped the mold off the top of it and gave it to Rocky.
That's disgusting. All right, and enough of that. Get out of the studio. Please. Get out of here.
Why?
Hey, Dylan. Dylan, you're tough, right? Get over here and beat the hell out of Patrick, okay? Okay, let's see here. Hello, Patrick.
Yeah, I'm cool.
Well, Avatar. Yes. So Dylan suggested I paint Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I gave it an emphatic no. And I think Dylan's probably going to beat me up the next time he sees me instead of Jamie. So, all right. That's probably true. We already talked about how tough Jamie is too, on top of the insults that we gave him. So, I mean, we have to give him a hard time, right? Jamie's not on here. No, just Dylan. Well, I know, but one of those is not Jamie. I'm almost sure of it. Yeah, he's not as cool as Dylan. Dylan, feel free to report that back, okay? Okay. And then maybe just a little touch right there, which we're going to bring forward into this area and really... Okay, guess what? We are almost at the end of the clouds where we're going to start putting in... So does he just comment that? That's Oof, Dylan, do you have a I love this chat. I've got the best fans in the world because they're all friends of mine. Dylan, you're going to find out that everybody who's in the chat, if I've got a fan, they don't end up staying as a fan. They're always friends of mine. Because who the hell wants fans? I'd rather have friends. At least one. It'd be nice to have one friend. Can I get one friend? Patrick, will you be my friend?
Nope.
Even Patrick said no. What a dick. Get out of here. All right, let's get that. Okay. Now it's going to get loud for a second, guys, because the floating island's going to go on there. But for the floating island to go on, I have to get a very, very special tool out. Now, this is an artistic tool that very few people use, okay? It's a pink hair dryer. You see? That's a great tool. All right, it's going to get really loud. Wow, that hair dryer was almost as loud as Patrick. You're here. I may as well pick on you. That's because you're not as bright as I thought you were. Yes, I'm picking on you. Ow, stop smacking me. Ow, hey, that hurts. Ow, leave me alone.
No, stop smacking yourself.
All right, I need to get some permanent black or we're not going to be able to make this work. And tell me I'm not out of permanent black. Hey, guess what? I'm not out of permanent black. No, it's on YouTube under Sean Nathan Ricks. SeanNathanRicks. While we're at it, buymynovels.com. www.buymynovels.com. I know. Do you need a novel for all those lonely nights when your name is Dylan and no girl loves you? Do you want a novel that's going to allow you to read some smutty romance because your name is Dylan and nobody loves you? Well, we've got the novel for you. Get Magi, Kingdom of Thor card game, and then while you're playing it, Emily is one of my fans that's all the way off in the place, but you just ruined my entire pitch for the novel.
Poor Patrick.
Poor...
I was more worried about me. That's the first time
Yeah, that's probably true. All right, so for the floating island, we've got to have, we'll do one right there, and then we'll do another platform that's going to be up here. And then we'll just start making part of the floating island bit. And it's just blocking it in at that point. Like I said, we don't know really where it's going to land or how much is going to be covered up from the background. And it looks strange when you first start because you're like, that doesn't look like it's going to be anything. Yeah, I know, that's why I call it painting, so you can keep on going. You know, honestly, painters are just professional liars because I'm going to tell you that this flat two-dimensional canvas is going to turn into a three-dimensional view. Kind of like a magician, I'm going to tell you that the card is actually in my pocket when in reality I had a very attractive girl put it in Dylan's back pocket. She probably copped a feel while she did it. I do, probably because you don't know how to use YouTube. Oh, there you go. See, that's where. All right, now get out of here. I'm listening to myself echo. You can't be in the same room as I'm doing that. It's just wrong. All right, let's see here. Okay, so once you get the silhouettes worked out for how the floating island's going to fit, we'll pull some of it down here. And then maybe we will pull this over just a little bit, make a little more land mass for that to sit on. Okay, let's see. What do we got in the comments? Dylan is hilarious. Patrick's not that tough, huh? Let's see. A red one what? A red what? What are we painting, Dylan? Tell me a red what, because I didn't see the comment, and I got to focus a little bit. So tell me what it is, because clearly I missed something, and that's not unusual. I probably miss a lot of things. Verbal cues of when to shut the hell up, because I don't really care. By the way, I do not see any comments from the short one in here. You know, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And I'm starting to get upset. That's right. All right, fine. Simone, I gave you compliments earlier on talking about how great you are as an artist, and you don't even bother to tune in. You're off the Christmas card list. I'm not going to send you that fruit cake that's left over from my grandma in 1982. Nope, I don't care how much you beg for it. It's not going to come back. Okay. And while we're at it, we can start doing a little bit more detail on that. Now that stuff has got to dry up pretty quick. And with the fan in the back blowing, it is drying up my paint really fast. That's okay. We're going to take a finer brush. We're going to bring that out to a nice point. And then we're going to add some detail along the bottom. This part right here, Dylan, really kind of is some of the boring parts of the painting, because you just kind of have to sit and wait for it to form up. We'll just make some volcanic tubes here going along. Put the tail of the island down there. Emily, why do we not have Renee on here as well? I haven't seen a single comment from Renee. Not one. Renee is also waiting for some paintings to be shipped out to her. Those paintings are actually going to go out, let's see, tomorrow with some of the novels. One of those novels would be I, Magi. One of the other novels would be The Man Before Time. Now, I really love being able to introduce The Man Before Time because people say, well, what's it about? It's about the man who would be. I mean, honestly, if you're not getting it by now, then I really can't help you, and maybe you shouldn't read the novel. Bring some of it out here, and then not connect it, like it just broke apart in the wind. Okay, let's see, what else? That's because she's lame. A red hair dryer. You want me to get a red hair dryer? Whoa, hey, the magic's actually in the pink hair dryer. Thank you very much. That's what I mean. Everybody knows that. It's the pink one that makes the world go around. Come on. A red hair dryer. I mean, have you got an extra hair dryer? Because the hair dryers, the cords on them generally go out really quick. So if you've got an extra hair dryer, then I can always use it because I get tired of having to go to Walmart and buy them. They do just destroy themselves fast inside the art studio. That's really funny. I'll go in, I'll end up buying some makeup brushes from the girly section. I'll get a hair dryer, and then just to make things interesting when I go to the checkout, I also pick up some duct tape and I pick up some chloroform and then some rope and a shovel. I like to make the person who's checking out, because I always go to the checkout, I never go to the auto checkout. I just want to make them wonder. See if any of them are going to call the police. See, now that's the way to do it. All right. Can you actually buy chloroform from Walmart? I'm asking for a friend. My friend's name is Dylan. Dylan, what's your address so the police can find you? Renee got two paintings. One of them was a set of paintings that the guy never picked up from the original Spite and Malice. You guys remember how I said I was going to do a whole series? There were going to be the Spite and Malice paintings, then there was going to be the other ones. I just got bored with the whole idea of revenge. It just, there's no money in it. It was fun, and you guys all bought a painting, and I love you guys for that. But, ultimately, I got over the fact that he's an idiot, and it's not like the old guy will stand toe to toe with me ever again anyway. The one time he said he was going to take me out back and beat me, I just said, all right, let's go. And he didn't take me out back and try to beat me. I mean, imagine that. It's almost like he was full of all bluff and buster, or bluff and buster, or something else that rhymes with bluff. Does somebody else want to correct that? Can we edit that out? Oh, I'll talk to my sound engineer. Wait, I am the sound engineer. Well, who's editing the sound then if I'm painting? What do I pay these people for? Okay. All right. So now that we have that, this is the interesting part. So we start putting in our trees right now as well. And the trees are just going to be some straight up and down trees. No, it's kind of fun because right now we have this whole horizontal thing going on, and then when the trees go in, they give you this vertical look to break up the landscape and break up the monotony of the background. That's right, I just called my background monotony. The thing that I just spent an hour creating, I just called it monotonous. Imagine that. Boy, whoever this artist is, he needs to be nicer to his paintings. It's a good thing my paintings can't come alive and beat the crap out of me. Okay, let's see. What do we got as comments? Nothing yet. I'm starting to think that Emily doesn't actually know how to make any phone calls to them. Come on, Emily. Thought you had a job to do here. All right, that's it. I'm telling Shad. I'm going to call him and talk to him about the Rat Fink stuff after this. We're going to commiserate. We're going to talk about how you can't do a job of getting two weird people to listen to this. I mean, weirder than we already are. That's right. I'm telling on you. And then I'm going to call up Simone and Ruby, and I'm going to say that you were saying terrible, mean things about them. Well, I mean, why can't you be nice? Like the way I've been very, very nice to Dylan this entire painting. It's almost like I've treated him like he's the most important guy in the chat. For someone who's short, weird, doesn't have a sense of humor, and doesn't know how to put two and two together, can't tie his shoes, has a dog that doesn't get along with Groot. Anybody else want to start piling on these insults on Dylan? More paint, less lame jokes. Hey, Patrick, shut the hell up. Hey, everybody in the chat, tell Patrick to shut the hell up. Let's see, let's put one right here, a great big one. All of this will make a lot more sense once we start adding everything else. I promise all my fans that watch these things, my friends that watch, they already know what's going to happen. They've seen these paintings appear before their eyes before. But we got to get the stuff going pretty quick. Let's see what else we got in here. Patrick, you showed me how to do this. This is your fault. By the way, you can never do 4 trees. You've got to have an odd number of trees. So we're going to give this guy a little friend. All right? And he's just a slightly taller little friend. All right? And it's your own little world. We'll pull out some of the Bob Ross sayings. There's no mistakes, just happy little accidents. Let's see. The happy little tree lives right there. And I think we need something a little bit more. What we need, just to get it in the background real quick. And a couple of little birds in the background. All right, we're going to add this little bird right here. And we're going to add that little bird right there. And we're going to add one over here. And then we're going to tell people that there are 4 birds in the paintings and that they should search for the 4th one. And then we're going to tell them it's behind that cloud over there with Dylan. All right, now we need to go back to our handy dandy special tool right here. It's going to get loud again. And it's got to get really nice and dry. If it doesn't dry up, it's not going to work. You're here for the picking on Sean? Oh, that's it, Emily. You are off the island. That's it. Somebody go out and get on. All right, that's it. I'm done. I'm done. I quit. I'm going to walk out. Can't make me do this. I have to sit here and take this kind of abuse. I have people lining up to give me this kind of abuse. I have people who will pay me to give me this kind of abuse. Actually, Emily kind of does pay me to give me this kind of abuse. She buys a lot of my paintings. All right. We're going to start adding some detail to our floating island now. It's going to be nice to put this down inside our island here. There we go. Give it just a little bit of texture and some more color. Okay. No, it's not allowed to pick on Sean. No. That's as bad as the bullies that had me in high school, which I buried behind the happy little tree. That one. And that one. There's actually 3 behind that tree. That's why it grew so tall. Okay. We got to keep on moving before the paint sets up completely. I'm going to put some right back in here. All right. And we've got some music playing in the background so that I can listen to that. Okay. And right now, in the painting mix, ABBA came on. That's right. You don't like ABBA? I don't care. Like, why would you listen to ABBA while you're painting? I mean, it was either ABBA or Neil Diamond, and guess what? I listened to that too. Who doesn't love Neil Diamond? Come on. Sweet Caroline. Somebody sing it. Somebody do the bump, bump, bump. Nobody did it? You're all fired. Let's get all the way down to the tip, but just the tip. And we'll go down this side too. Okay, now let's take a look at the comments and see what ridiculous stuff is in here. He has an ugly blue truck that runs like. Yeah, Patrick's the one that worked on that. I do love you, Emily. Waiting on the loud, you're louder than the blower, blah, blah, blah. I'm here for the, okay. Blah, blah, blah. Patrick. Pretty sure my husband and him were bonding over that truck. Yes, we were. He is bonding, all right. That's because Shad is freaking awesome. Emily's husband, Shad, really is one of the coolest guys on the face of the planet. I mean, he must be. He's got a super amazing wife that buys my paintings. I don't love her just because she buys my paintings. Well, she's also attractive. But the fact that you buy my paintings, that certainly helps. I'm going to have to give a call to Shad and talk to him again. Okay. In fact, Emily, send me his number. I usually just talk to him across Messenger. Rather give him a call and chat and hang out. And one of these days, be able to see the cool dude in person. Let's add some more detail right there. This island's got to have a little bit going on there. And maybe there. Yeah. Okay. We've got stretches all the way across there. We've got some good detail going on for our rock. And while the rock is cooking, I don't know why we did that. Sure, the rock is cooking. While the rock is cooking, we're going to add a little bit along the back side of some of these lines. Just a slightly darker color. It'll give a more rich background as we go. And yeah, by the way, if you've been tuning in just barely, then you do not know, but Dylan gets this. Send him a clip of the sound of your exhaust. Be better than listening to your voice. Hey, Patrick. Well, I've got 2 words for you. Shut, you filthy whore mouth. That's more than 2 words. Yeah, that's right. But I didn't think that Marines could count. That's right. I'm picking on Patrick now. And I'll do it again. Hey, Dylan, do you have a couple of crayons and you can make it all the way to Smithfield? Let's see. Let's get a little more color here. I'm mixing some colors, so somebody start insulting Patrick, okay? I'm at the spot where I've got to focus a little bit, and Patrick's trying to ruin my groove, man. Actually, I really like it. The more comments you make on there, Patrick, the better it is. So keep up the insults. Okay. Now, let's bring in some of this color. It's not nearly as light as I want it. We've got to get a little bit more of our titanium white in with the color. Okay, now it's going to show up better. Yes. And this is my channel, Patrick. People tune in to listen to me talk and to watch me paint. Crayon eater. Actually, anybody who's listening to this and got upset, I support the troops quite a bit. The Marines have a really rough job to do. They're one of the best armed services there is, and we all need to support them. That being said, Patrick's still a crayon eater. Okay, and we do have mad respect for the Marines. In fact, if we want to highlight Jamie, one of the guys we were picking on, Jamie owns a coffee shop that helps out a lot of the armed service guys. There's a lot of support there. It's a great community. This is going to be a free advertisement for Cash Coffee. If you are in the northern Utah area and you're ever in Logan, Utah, you do need to go over to Cash Coffee. You do need to take a look. It is one of the most unique coffee shops you will ever walk into. And I said unique, not eunuch. To my knowledge, Jamie is not a eunuch, but I have not actually looked, so I don't know. Okay, we're starting to get some color and definition in places that we want it. Add a little bit more thickness to some of these lines. And we will pull down through here. And then there. Now, if it's a little too light, that's easy because all we have to do is get some titanium yellow. I'm not titanium yellow, some yellow ochre. Just give some highlights along that. And the lighter color on the background is going to make it show up really well. And then we have a vibrancy to our island that we didn't have before. What do we got in Patrick? Keep going, Patrick. More comments. All right. Let's see. We will read Patrick's comments in a minute, but there's a lot of them, and I can't read them all that fast because, I mean, this is not about reading Patrick's comments. It's about trying to paint a painting and accomplishing painting a painting. So somebody else read Patrick's comments, respond to them, and that would be a good thing because as much as I pick on Patrick, he is one of my best friends. Let's get a little more color in some of these areas, add to it. And now I want some bright, vibrant orange because we don't have any orange in the clouds in the background, which is nice because when I add this orange to the foreground here for some of the detail on the clouds, it's going to make it pop. We're going to mix a little bit of our burnt sienna in with it, and then we're going to just pop over top of here and give a little more depth in the color. And that depth in the color is really what gives us a feeling of having 3 dimensions. Well, that is a lot of paint on that. If Patrick did say something about the troops having a tough job, he is right. The Marines do have probably the toughest job in the entire military. And we need them. And we're glad that we have them. We're still going to pick on Patrick. Okay. Let's see how we're looking. You two are killing me. What's this guy doing? It's a shame he sucks at this. You look, you know it. All of a sudden, speaking of someone that talks, and oh my gosh, Patrick, holy crap! It's a crap ton of comments. Hey, careful, Patrick. You see, I'm about to give this painting to Dylan. I'm pretty sure Dylan can kick your butt. Right, Dylan? I'm glad you volunteered for this, Dylan. Let me just pull some more there. Get some of the areas to look a little bit cleaner. Okay, now that's got to dry, and while that's drying, we're going to start introducing some green on our landmass, which means I probably ought to get some green out because I didn't have green paint on my easel. So we'll get some green paint. We're going to do two shades of green today. We're going to have a light green and we're going to do a sap green. Speaking, excuse me, excuse me. Speaking of saps, I would like everyone to meet my friend Patrick. Oh, I think he might be getting some gas pumped into my place so that I can't speak. Somebody call 922. I can't actually say the other one because then the algorithm will probably do something terrible. So nobody say it. All right. Getting mustard gas put in here, or did you just go up to the door and let one rip, Patrick? Okie dokie. Please do not come in here and let one rip, Patrick. Stay out there. Don't come over here. Dylan, get over here and beat the hell out of Patrick. Also, I'm missing a brush that I need. Oh, they're in the drink. Of course they are. All right. What we got in the comments? Dylan, why is Sean trying to get you killed? There's a tree and cloud crap. Like, oh my god. Nobody is trying to get Dylan unalived at all. Nobody. We like Dylan, especially since this is his painting. But Dylan could still take Patrick. Yep. Patrick right now is in the other room shaking his head, I'm sure. The other room being the other side of this large industrial building. It'll probably take him like, 3 to 4 minutes to even get over here. So it's a good thing I have an escape hatch that goes to the basement of this building, which is really amazing since there's no basement to this building. Okay, let's keep on going. At least not a basement I'm going to tell Patrick about. Okay. Dylan, you going to start commenting or has he just jumped away? Is Dylan gone? Did we lose Dylan? Is Dylan like the guys on Apollo 13? Is he about to say, Houston, we have a problem? Maybe he's actually driving out here to be the guy that picks up his painting. I don't know if the painting's going to be done tonight because if I'm going to add a dragon or something else cool to it, it's going to be added after the show. Let's put some land in and make it appear right in front of everybody. And it looks great. We're loving it. Yes. Okay. All right. I like it. And as we continue going over it, that's going to get more and more opaque and pop out a little more. Now, we can't go over it all at once because we got to let some of it dry. Get a little bit right there and there. And then let's pull some across here. All right. Okay, so we're starting to get somewhere now. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk to you again. Because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping. And the vision that was planted in my brain still remains and echoes in the sounds of silence. Thanks, Emily. It's kind of like karaoke with Sean tonight. And cue rude comment by Patrick. He was probably typing it right now. I got it. I think I got that out before he actually said something. Yeah, that's right. See, I'm quick. Okay. My favorite song to sing at karaoke is My Way by Sinatra. I usually bring down the house, get a standing ovation. It's quite the song. Good old Blue Eyes was a smart dude. Okay, let's work more on our trees up top. What do we got for comments here? Tone deaf. Silence is golden, my friend. Yeah, your silence. See? Emily kind of likes my singing, so there, take that. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. And no, I'm not tone deaf. I am deaf in one ear, but I'm not tone deaf. And you already know that, Patrick. All right, let's keep on going with our trees. Get the highlights on our trees so they pop out from the background. A little bit more here and there. Some right through here. And here. Doesn't matter if it pops out enough yet because we got a couple more tricks up our sleeve that will end up getting them to look great. All right. Now, we need a little bit of yellow. Pull over here. What have we got? We've got Turner's yellow. Let's give that a shot. I haven't used Turner's yellow in a while. Let's pull some out. All right. And let's mix some of our Turner's yellow with some of our grass green and our light green. We'll add some highlights just in a few spots on the forefront of everything. We may need to come back over the top of those a little more to make me happy. I'm not really super happy with the way that those look yet. Let's add some white to it. That'll really brighten it up. Now, since we've added some titanium white, it's going to be much more opaque. Yes, that's much better. And then some along here. Yes, looking good. I can't keep up on the comments, so if Patrick is saying more stuff, somebody else say stuff back. I gotta focus on the painting. Okay, we need a little bit more black because we're going to darken up the back side of the trees. You guys really can't see it inside the video, but there is some gaps. There's a big tree. Brush kind of got away from me there, and we'll just make it work just like that. It's fat tree. Okay. And then let's give it a shadow coming across there. And this one's got a shadow coming across there. That looks nice. Let's go back into the black and get some more along the back of this tree. Yes, that looks good. A little bit more along the back of this tree here. And then some shadows. And a little bit of shadow right there. And that one's a long shadow. Somebody's like, no, it's longer than the tree. Yeah, it's a sunset, silly. Okay. I mean, if we wanted to be really hilarious, we'd give this one a short little shadow. But guess what? It is going to be a short little shadow because it runs off there. Now, we've got that, but it doesn't quite look right yet. What we need to do is we need to bring the shadow down along this base. And that base is then going to separate it and give us a bit more of a view. In fact, we'll have the grass here is kind of disconnected from that grass. Pull it over that way, darken up some of our shadow areas, and run that out here. There we go. Looks good. I like it. Everything's working out. Every part of the painting is starting to come together. All right. Okay, now behind this cloud over here, you guys can't see this, but there's actually a Marine named Patrick back there in a leotard that's pink with frilly blue ribbons on a unicycle. It's true. It's not your painting, it's my painting. I can make that stuff up. Okay. And let's do a few more things here. Let's give these a little bit of break right here, as though there's different striated rock formations all the way across it. Yes, I like the way that works. Up around here as well. And then maybe right there as well. And some up here. All right. Okay. Well, guys, as far as that part goes, that is done. And then we have to decide what we're going to do with the rest of it. And you know, before I do anything else, I think I'll spend some time chatting with Dylan and decide where it's going to go from here. So, we're like a big portal in the top sky island. A big portal? You know what? A big portal is not a bad idea. Huh. A big portal in the top sky island. Let me see. There's got to be some comments on here. What do you recommend? Well, let's see. A lot of limitation, like all of the stolen painting ideas. That one's a good, Patrick. I kind of, okay, let's see here. Dylan, a big portal on the top island. I am interested in knowing what that might look like. I also want to do this here. And I want to separate this one into different parts. It's kind of out there floating. And let's see. Get that to separate as well. Now we're just going into fine little details just because we can. If people haven't liked and subscribed already, please do so. And even if your name is Patrick, because I would appreciate that too. Actually, Patrick's probably helped out the algorithm like crazy with all of the comments. So, and Patrick knows that. He knows what he's doing. He's not a complete dummy. Okay. A portal. I'm trying to think of exactly what I'd like to do for a portal. That's the vibe you're getting. I like that idea. Like a deserted island that people come to pray in remembrance of old times. You know what? I've got an idea. You just gave me a great idea, Dylan. We're going to go with it. We're not done with the painting yet. No, 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 we are not. Nope. Dylan gave us the idea, and we're going to go with it right now. Okay, it's going to take a minute to get these going. Okay, good. All right, I've mixed up some nice gray there. Now I need to get the brush that I can use for this. And we're going to do it in the top one. So first things first, let's get a formation going on. I'm imagining 2 rock spires with the portal coming around inside of it. We'll get some rock formations going on. And it's going to be very uneven rock formations. Nothing's going to be uniform about it. But it's going to kind of come back in and okay, we've got at least one part of the rock. Okay, let's do the other part of the rock up over here. Yeah, okay, so we've got that, and then bring some down. We'll make it a little fat here. Kind of like it's a hoodoo. It's on top of each other. Okay. I'm glad you came up with that idea. That's a brilliant idea. Okay. And maybe part of this one actually comes out and holds it right there. You know what? We're just going to make that all solid. And I think we'll beef this one up a little bit as well. And yes. We're going to make it a different kind of rock as though it was placed there. It's not going to match the rock that's already on the island. It's something different and unique. Okay, and then when I get to the portal part, I've got a great idea as well. No. This is brilliant, Dylan. Okay, we need some shadow. And we'll pull the shadow out off that way. Okay, all right, let's see here. Okay. I mean, yeah, Stargate's an idea, but we need to pull out our handy-dandy artistic tool. Okay, now, in order to make this so that it will not be the kind of rock that blends with the background, we got to go and dip into an idea with blue and with maybe some of this purple that I had and then some of the gray I mixed up. We got to have this so that there's enough contrast and different color to it that it separates from the back, or else it'll just blend in with the clouds. And that's looking like it's going to give us exactly what we need in order to separate from the background. Good job, Dylan. Brilliant idea. Okay, let's get a little bit here. Yeah, I like that. That looks good. Okay. Dylan, you're the honorary artist of the day. Um, although you still haven't come over to beat the hell out of Patrick. I mean, come on, he's just in the other. I can give you the coordinates. It's really easy to get here. Bring your dad. It'll be a tag team. I'll referee. We're just kidding. We like the fact that Patrick is throwing all kinds of insults in there. Keep doing it, Patrick. He's no dummy. He knows that exactly it helps the algorithm. He's leaning into his strengths. Okay, I think I want a little more contrast with some really rich black along this back side. I'm going to take a very fine brush here and add more to the back side, more shadow in different areas. Okay, all right. We need a little bit more. Okay, all right. Now we need to work on a lighter color of blue. We're going to dip into our titanium white and lighten up that blue so that we can get kind of a feel of highlights on the rock. Just like that. Maybe Patrick and I ought to start a comedic duo. He can be the comedian and I'll be the straight man since, well, do we really want to complete that? It'd really be funny if we did. I hope that that particular joke gets back to Jamie so Jamie can give crap to Patrick about that one. Okay, there we go. Let's see what's going on here. Just all the hair on his hand doesn't get his painting. Looks like the blue is the electricity powering the portal. Ooh, that's a great idea. You know what? You just gave me another idea of what's going to happen here. We're still doing some more highlights. Got a lot of paint blobs on here, and I'm loving that because it allows me to really just kind of very finely take it and pull it in. Okay, now it was a really good idea because now we're going to show you what happens. Dylan, brilliant idea. Great addition to the painting. Okay, we've got to mix up the right color for this and make sure that it's the right consistency. So the lightning can come down like that. Maybe a little more coming off this way. Okay, so we've got some lightning. That's good. It's not going to be the only lightning that we have. We've got to bring some that. We'll bring a great big one that comes down here and gets there. And now we need brilliant white, some titanium white for the next part. See if we've got enough white there. Maybe one comes over here, but it doesn't quite connect to everything. I'm liking that so far. All right, glad you like it so far. Okay, to add a little more, we've got to get more lightning on here. Or maybe, let's see. Hang tight. I've got to get that back to a point. Okay, we need more. We're going to need to pull out the hair dryer, or else that's going to start picking up some of the paint. You know, we're going to give everyone a better look here too. There. Okay. We really got to pump up the white in here. Okay, that looks pretty good. It's not quite where I want it yet. Okay, and let's that one out a little. And I think maybe an aura circle. Let's try that. Maybe another one further out. Okay, so far we're having some fun with it. Big orb connecting to the vines, and the only reason this part survived is because it was the main power source. The circle was a big touch. Thank you. I think I need to add a little bit more to it. Let's add to it. Yeah, just a little bit more. It's there, but it's got to be more distinct. And this one's going to be tough. Now, I'm going to show you guys something that is going to add to that like crazy. There's this really cool color called transparent burnt umber. And what it can do to something like this is give it an interesting tone that we wouldn't get elsewhere. So let's get a little bit of this out. And we can bring some, oh, that's way too dark. Okay. And it'll make it pop out from the background from the other white, because it'll basically bracket it. And then, to give it more than that, we go to our bright orange. And with the bright orange, since we don't have any orange in the background, let's get ourselves a fine point here. We can make the tips orange all the way down. Let's do some more of that because I like the way that's looking. Got to get a real fine point. And in fact, let's go back over the top of that with orange as well. Let's see, how's that read? It looks pretty good. All right, and I think a bit of blue for just part of the outside of the circle. Just along there and along there. Okay, guys, we're ready to put a signature on this thing. I think we're done. Okay, let's move this to right there, and we'll sign Dylan's painting. And we'll do it with the same color blue that we used. Get a really long tail there. Okay. All right. Patrick just came back in. No, wait, Patrick, I've got to finish it. No, no, put down the axe. Yeah, I've been reading some of them. You do have good ideas. That's because this is Dylan's painting. I know, but I didn't have time to read because I was in the midst of trying to get the painting done. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe. I can always change it a little bit as we go, but as of now, what we've got to do is show Dylan where it's at so far. Plus, I already signed it, so. And Dylan's happy with it. That makes us happy, and that's it. Dylan's painting. And of course, this goes on the Instagram, and this is live on YouTube. 117 minutes, 48 seconds. Guys, we've got to take a trip, as we normally do, through the rest of the art studio and see the mess that we make, of course. Oh, and the stop sign that I stole when I was like 17. So, all right, let's walk through the rest of it. That is a painting that was stolen and I recovered. But let's walk out here and take a look at a few of the other ones. And the puppy. Hey, Hella. Hella, hey. Sit. Sit. Don't listen to him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Sit. Thank you. Down. What do you mean no? Get down. Down. Good girl. Up. Up. No? Okay, she doesn't want to do up. There we go, guys. All right. Thanks for tuning in. The Roman soldiers not sold yet either. I haven't decided what to sell them for. There you go, guys. Thanks for tuning in. And Dylan, you got yourself a painting. Bye, guys.